Oh man, probably my favorite day of the week. Welcome to a Dirty Thursday on GFBS. We're Grand Forks' best source on today's show. Tom Corcoran, Hall of Fame late model driver. It's going to be a great show. I can't wait. I'm just keyed up about this. Show today brought to you by Executive Properties. Not only are they probably one of the best contractors in town with commercial and residential work, but they also do snow removal too. In fact, I've said this before, but if you go downtown after a snowstorm, you can tell the stores that Executive Property takes care of because not only do they have the best snow removal equipment, but they got guys that actually know how to get out and use a shovel too. I mean, they do it the right way. So for all your work, you know what? Whether you need something done in your kitchen or your bathroom, or maybe need some concrete poured or some snow removed, Executive Properties will take care of you. Got senior and referral discounts, willing to work with any budget. Call them up, 701-330-1273, or check out executiveproperties.org. And make sure to check out the reviews on Facebook and Google, too. You're going to love their work. Executive Properties, your one-stop company that can do it all. Well, again, if you got any questions or comments, you want to text or call for us or Tom or our intern, Katie, feel free to 701-213-0863. That's 701-213-0863. And before we get going, it is time now for our daily segment called Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me. Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me. Do you hear about the hate crime in NASCAR this year? I mean, we all heard about it, right? Well, it turns out it was just fake news. Paul, the producer's not even here to say anything about that. Katie, what'd you think of that joke?
Oh, I think that kind of fits the topic today we're talking about.
Tom, how'd you like that one?
We just needed a rim shot.
Yeah. Let's see here. Can I find my rim shot here? How's that? There we go.
There it is.
Welcome back, Tom Corcoran. You've been on the show before, but you're one of those people, and it's funny because when I walked into the studio this morning, I started getting all kinds of personal messages, Facebook, wondering who was on the show today. And I tell you what, the Canadians up there, they really dig you.
Well, that's good. That's good.
They were wondering who's
some awfully nice people up there.
They are, and you know, it was such a shame this year or last year, you know, and now they keep talking about when are the borders going to open? You know, now there's rumors could be another year. Oh my gosh, heaven forbid.
Yeah, it's a good question right now.
I mean, not only think about how many race car drivers that we're missing, but the fans.
Exactly.
I mean, I miss walking through Little Canada. That was one of the highlights of every one of my race nights on a Friday night, was working my way down to the pits, but making my stop through there. And then on the way back from the pits, you make another stop through Little Canada. And by the time I'd get back up into my little booth up there, I was full. I mean, full both ways.
A lot of great diehard fans from up north.
Before we get going, I didn't realize Mark Highcutter was a friend of mine.
Yes.
I have known the guy for years. He used to play on my softball team, and he probably did say this to me, but he must have got out right about the time I got in at the River City Speedway. I never realized that Cotter actually was involved with dirt track racing, and until I actually read your post on Facebook. And tell us about your time with Mark Highcutter.
Well, Mark and a couple of friends of his started out by pitting for Rodney Bolstead back in the day. And then after Rodney retired, Mark ended up with a car of his own. So it was a real shock to read that the other day. Yeah.
I was actually, my son called me from Fargo and told me about it. And yeah, he's going to be missed. I mean, man, he was a hell of a guy.
Yeah, great guy. Even after his time in racing was done, he was still a race fan. He still knew what was going on.
Yeah. Man, he is going to be missed. Right off the bat, got a lot of people watching. In fact, Robin Anderson, you know, they're down in Mexico right now.
Yeah.
And she's actually watching the show. Yeah, it says, hi, Tom, Paul, and John. Me and Steve watching you from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Mark was a great guy, she also adds. So, yeah, so you can listen anywhere, anytime, just like Paul, the producer, said. You know, one thing I saw, Tom, on your Facebook profile, you must be a Red Green fan.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I saw your favorite quote, and this is actually one of mine, too. If the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.
Exactly.
Can you even get the red-green show on TV anymore?
I don't believe we can. We don't get any Canadian stations anymore anywhere, so that's...
Would Trudeau shut those down too?
Well, he might have. We can only see it on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, and another one of my favorites from Red Green was keep your stick on the ice.
Absolutely.
And if you're a hockey guy and you ever played hockey, that's one of the first things you were ever taught, all the way from tiny mites on up. Keep your stick on the ice. But glad to see there's another Red Green fan out there. I think he's hilarious.
I used to love that show.
The nephew was it Harold. Is that his nephew's name? Yep. That's funny stuff.
Yeah, the cast of characters there was just classic. So,
let's talk about last year. I would think. Okay, first off, how long have you been doing this now?
Well, that was season 51.
That was season 51. I would think that if you were to give yourself a 1 to 10 grade from last year, 1 being crappy, 10 being good, I would think you'd have to be an 8+ at least, 8, 9, or a 10 even.
Yeah, I was just going to say an 8.5. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, except for a couple of bad breaks, the season could have been even better than it was.
Mm-hmm. And when you talk about bad breaks, those bad breaks aren't usually your fault. It's just part of racing. Sometimes you get caught up in things, and sometimes you have a little bad luck.
Well, yeah, a little frustration, and then a bad night where I lost a motor.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of those 2 nights, it was a pretty darn good year.
Now, the motor you lost, you'd been running that motor for a while. Is that right?
Yeah. That I run that 525 crate motor, and that motor was 2 3/4 seasons old.
Were you expecting more out of it? I mean, they're pretty stout, aren't they?
Well, I mean, I'd like to have some more nights. My original plan was to run that motor throughout the season and then put it in the corner as a spare. And, unfortunately, it didn't make it that far.
Yeah, and but that didn't last long? You got everything figured out?
No, that's the other nice part about that is I made a couple of phone calls and had a motor by midweek and in time to race the following Friday.
Wow, that's got to be nice when you can get that done that quick. Now, you pretty much do all the wrenching yourself, don't you? What do you just push the car in the garage and here we go?
Well, usually what happens is Saturday morning I roll it out of the trailer into the shop and up on stands, and usually away we go. I don't have a lot of help, but I do have some guys that come in when needed. A good friend of mine, Larry Longoria, helped me throughout the motor ordeal last year. Larry used to be employed at Adams Automotive.
So sure. He knows his stuff, yep.
So, it helps to have those guys.
I just want to let this people know Brian is watching. He says, watch Red Green all the time. Then he adds, Tom has some of the best-looking cars, and his 50th anniversary gold one was awesome. Still get a lot of comments about that gold car.
Well, yeah, and I think mostly because it was a 50th car.
Yeah.
I'm very critical of my own graphic schemes.
Yeah, and it was so out in left field, at least in my opinion, for what we would normally see in a Tom Corcoran car, but it sure made a point.
Oh, yeah. Jeff Kroll over at Custom Stripes designed that car, and the idea was that the sponsors and everything on it was going to look retro. Mm-hmm. And he knocked it out of the park when it came to that. That's
one thing I should think about. I'll see if I can't find that 50th anniversary car. Maybe we can add that one to the Do So Photography Wall of Fame, along with right next to your what you ran last year. You're really not a points-chasing guy, are you, or would you say you are?
No, I've been through all of that. Mm-hmm. I'm a survival guy when it comes to racing.
Sure.
I mean, I do what I think is best in order to be out every week.
Mm-hmm. Are there certain tracks you will shy away from, and you don't have to name them? Are there certain tracks you will shy away from, maybe knowing that it's hard on the equipment?
I've stayed away from the bigger tracks since I went with the crate motor.
Mm-hmm.
Do I necessarily have to? Maybe not, but I just find it easier to run the smaller tracks.
Mm-hmm. Where did you all go last year?
Really last year, River Cities, Devil's Lake, and Greenbush was pretty much about it. We lost Lisbon to rain,
mm-hmm.
or I'd have been there. But I mean, I just, right now I'm racing as much as I can physically handle.
Physically and maybe feasibly?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, physically, what I mean by that is it's enough work to get ready to go Friday. Mm-hmm. So at times, being a one-man operation, go on Saturday or Sunday is just a little out of the realm of possibilities.
Right. There's still 5 more days in the week that you have to try to live through.
Well, exactly. and 20 years ago, it was easier to do that.
Right. Do you find it? How old are you now, anyway?
Well, I'm 66.
Okay. Well, you were off
Yeah,
by a little bit. Katie thought you were like 79. No, she didn't.
not that high, not that high.
I've been described as older than dirt.
Yeah,
So.
she thought you were probably close to 70, which you are. But here's the deal with you, Tom. I know in the last few years with you and I talking, we usually talk at least once a week in the pits or whatever. But, it's kind of we'll see what happens after this year. And maybe we'll see what happens. But it seems like these last couple of years, you're better than... I mean, things are going good.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's been a really nice rebound. And I think the only thing I can really attribute that to is my focus has been really there the last couple of seasons. Not that I didn't have it before, but I think that retiring from work...
I was just going to ask that.
Having the time to do this has really helped.
You're not punching the clock, and then the whole time you're at work, while you're trying to do your job, thinking about, man, I've got to get this done. I've got to get this done. This has got to be ready to go by Friday. Now you can maybe even sleep in an extra hour and go, I got all day.
Well, I'm not much of a sleeper, but I can say that the midnights in the garage have long since passed. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've got all day to do this stuff, so I don't really need to do that anymore. Yep.
You had mentioned earlier you had kind of quarantined yourself for about 10 days. Otherwise, the COVID thing not been an issue with you?
No. I would almost guess that I went through it early last spring after making a trip out east, and then again here, a few weeks back. And, I've been fortunate that way.
You talk about the trip out east, that's see the grandkids?
Exactly.
How many grandkids you have now?
I've got 3.
Yeah? How much fun is that?
Oh, it's absolutely the best.
Yeah.
I love my own kids, but those grandkids are something else.
Oh, aren't they? I've got a granddaughter now that's about a year and a half old, just starting to make tons of noise and getting into everything and wants to show you everything. And I'm pretty confident I could get her out in a catfish boat next year. We'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. Grandkids, man, they're awesome. Chad Hoff, wish I was there, boys. Waiting for my COVID test to come back. Currently watching this in a meeting for work. David, hoping for good news for you, Chad. Tommy, he's actually older than dirt. At least 3 dirt changes at River City Speedway. I think that one was about you, Tom, not Chad.
Well, it's true. So I've been on every surface that's been out at River Cities.
Yeah? Oh, I suppose you have. Take us through kind of your history at River City Speedway. What it was like when you started, and maybe through some of the changes, at least the ones that were, maybe more memorable than not.
Well, I go back a long ways. I actually started working at the racetrack with my grandparents, cleaning grandstands and bleachers when I was about 12 years old. Mm-hmm. And I progressed from that, worked for my Uncle Jim on preparing the racetrack and being a general worker out there for a lot of years before I started. So I started racing when I was 15. Spent a year and a half in a street stock and bought myself what at the time was a semi-late model. Mm-hmm. And after a year of that and beating my head against the wall, we decided that if we're going to ever do this, we had to go buy a good race car, and we did. Back then, the track was black dirt and relatively flat in comparison to today's racetrack. And, so, I mean, it's been a night and day difference over the years.
How significant of a difference is it from being a basically flat dirt track to a high bank clay oval?
Oh, it's huge. The black dirt used to be a stickier deal. Ours was tacky. Literally, you could walk across the racetrack and it would suck the shoes off your feet at times. Mm-hmm. The clay, we haven't really seen that a lot. I do prefer the racetrack the way it is right now over what it was a couple of seasons ago. Mm-hmm. I do believe we could take some more banking off it. I think the racing would be better.
Maybe just a little too fast. Because when you get a fast track, the racing isn't as good.
Well, usually what happens is one lane is predominant out here, and we've got to get it back to the point where we've got two good grooves of racing.
Right.
That's when racing is the best.
Yeah.
At River City.
I mean, if you want to watch, that kind of racing with one groove, just go sit at the intersection at 42nd Avenue there when a train's coming by, because that's basically what it's like, and especially when you get some of these long races, that's no fun.
No.
Watching, I mean, that's not racing. That's just going around in a circle.
Right. And like I say, it preferably we've got a little stick on the bottom, some stick on the top, and across the middle is no man's land. Mm-hmm. It promotes better racing. It promotes less wrecks.
Yep.
A lot of things.
And that's a big thing. The wrecks. Nobody wants to go see it. I mean, you always have those fans that love to see a good crash.
Oh, yeah.
But nobody likes to see a wreck fest either.
No, exactly. These cars are expensive. They take a lot of work. So, if you want to see wrecks, go to the County Fair Demo Derby.
Exactly. Yeah, these aren't demo cars. And it's kind of funny because now the real Tom Corcoran fans and friends are starting to text. After Tommy said he's actually older than dirt, at least 3 dirt changes, Jeff Liebrick used to have hair too. Jeremy, I think when he started going there, they only raced horses. Jeff chiped in back, semi-late quarter horses.
Exactly. Yeah.
I reached out to a couple of people, Tom, to find out a few things about you, and we're going to talk about that here in a couple of minutes. But first, if you want continuous protection to any indoor space, contact Pure Mist Total Indoor Environment Protection. They've got a multifaceted process that uses advanced technologies to destroy contaminants in the air and on surfaces. In fact, Pure Mist can protect homes, businesses, classrooms, clinics, fitness clubs, retail stores, hotels, childcare centers, bars, video podcast studios, and more. This is the apex of indoor environment protection, destroying surface and airborne microbes. Now, we're talking about viruses, bacteria, mold, fungi, allergens, odors. And you know what? Active Pure is an FDA-tested and approved technology to reduce and eliminate SARS and CoV-2. That's the virus that causes COVID-19. Grand Forks' best source, we're now protected by Pure Mist. Maybe you should think about protecting yourself, too. Call Chad, 763-229-7969, or go to puremistcode.com. It's a protection of every second of every day, and we're talking 365 days a year. Pure Mist Total Indoor Environment Protection, clean spaces, healthy people. And again, folks, if you got anything you want to say for Tom or any of us here, Katie, myself, our phone number, 701-213-0863. Make sure you give us a call. And there we go. Let's see here. Got a couple of more texts coming in here. And let's see. Wish I was there, boys. Waiting for that's okay. Get your butt to work. Panzer's giving stuff away over at Northwest Tire. Tom Eglin. Schlitz was the beer of choice when he started. Pulled top cans. Wow. Tom's Uncle Jim, a legend. Miss him at the track. Let's talk about Jim a little bit.
Sure.
I had the pleasure of getting to hang around with your uncle for a few times. The thing about him was he always wanted a picture. And I've got one now that is hopefully going to go into the bar at the Speedway. It was him and I and Dwayne Sandin, and 2 Hall of Famers, and me lucky enough to be asked to be in the picture. Here's the thing. When your Uncle Jim asked for a picture with me, he always ended up getting it framed and giving it to me. I'd see him sometime later on in the season, and he'd always say, I got something for you. And I've got a couple of these at home now, and to be honest with you, I want it at the River City Speedway, but then again, I kind of like him at home, too, because he meant a lot to me. He meant a lot to the sport. He meant a lot to dirt track racing in Grand Forks.
For me personally, I don't think I even really appreciated how much and how well he did things until much later in my own career.
Mm-hmm.
We went head-to-head and battled back and forth, racer promoter for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once he was gone and out of the sport in an active role, I really came to appreciate it more.
Mm-hmm. And he was kind of like a barnstorming type promoter. I mean, he didn't just hang around Grand Forks.
Oh, no. He promoted racetracks all across the upper Midwest up here. And we tried to list them all one time. And in all honesty, if there was a county fairgrounds somewhere, chances are he promoted racing or demos or whatever there.
Make a racetrack somehow.
Sure.
Do whatever you can do.
Yep.
And, boy, I tell you what, Uncle Jim's, he's missed. He was a hell of a guy. All right, I mentioned before we went into the break, I reached out to a couple of people, and this one coming from a pretty big name himself, but his quote was, "You've been called the racing sponge of all dirt racing." Some people might take that maybe not in a good way. I would take that in a pretty good way myself. Basically, you never quit learning, do you?
Oh, God, no. No, if you ever assume that you know it all, you might want to walk away right away because that's just not the way it is. I mean, this thing changes weekly these days.
Yeah, and how hard is it to stay on top of all of the changes?
It's almost impossible, and you need to be fairly well connected, whether that be the other guys you race with, your chassis builders, your motor builders. You just have to stay on top of it.
You ever go try to sneak a peek at what somebody's got in their car, or is that like a no-no?
Well, I rarely sneak. If I want to go look, I usually just go look, and if somebody objects, I'll walk away. It's not a big deal. But guys are pretty open. There's not a lot of secrets out there that are very well kept.
Right. Yeah, it's not a secret for very long, is it?
No, it certainly isn't.
What about like when the World of Outlaws come to town? Do they bring a whole different package, or is it not that different?
That, again, is a different world. God, I guess the best way that I've described it over the years is when the local guy goes out to race with those guys, I mean, you're bringing a knife to a gunfight. I mean, their equipment and their knowledge is so far advanced over what we're doing. It's just impossible to compete.
Now, there are a few guys, maybe not this last year, but I know in previous years that might keep one of those big motors and all that stuff in the shop just for these types of races. Do they have a legitimate shot to beat these guys?
To beat them, no. To compete, yes. It's very hard to be on game as those guys are with the amount of racing they do.
Right. I'm really surprised. Well, maybe I'm not surprised. Your thoughts on Ricky Weiss? I mean, he's doing pretty dang good with those Outlaws. Well,
Ricky's one of those guys who's a natural talent, and you couple that with the amount he's learned out there. At this point in time, I mean, you got to believe he's one of the best 10 in the country.
Oh yeah, and I mean, maybe he picked up a few things from Bloomer, but it seems like kind of Bloomquist might be kind of fading a little bit now. Or would you tend to disagree with me? It seems like with that team, the number 7 car is probably, it is the better car.
Well, I think Bloomquist has had a couple of off years. I mean, I guess what I said before about focus has been the issue there. I think there's other things going on at the moment. And do I think he's done? Oh, God, no.
No. He'll be like you. I mean, he'll be going. I mean, he might not have the long hair.
Well, that's But with his knowledge, I mean, you talk about being a sponge and absorbing all this. That's what Ricky's done.
Yeah.
I mean, there was nobody better that you could get in tight with than he did.
Yeah, and the thing is with how much I know Ricky, if he came and asked you a question and you were answering him, and if I was watching, he's paying attention. I mean, the kid, sure. He's just not one of those, okay, whatever, you tell me what you want. He's like, well, he's kind of like how we just explained to you. He's a sponge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this past summer, we got about 45 minutes to sit and visit with Ricky in the afternoon, and it's to listen to him now, realizing what he's done. You take notice when he says something.
Absolutely. Great kid, too. Yep. Hopefully we're going to have him on the show next year when we change this thing to Fridays. But Kevin Pappenfuss, he's got something to say here, Tom. I call Tom the Red Farmer of North Dakota, and hopefully he races as long as him. That's another compliment.
Well, it is, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Kevin. I don't know how far I'll go.
Yeah.
Like I said, for many years, I do it a year at a time. Mm-hmm. And I certainly know that, the road is about to come to an end.
Yeah. And, some of these quotes and some of the things people are saying, yeah, they might be a compliment because you're getting up there in age, but they're also a compliment because you still know how to handle a race car around these tracks.
Well, yeah, and if it comes to the point where I can't, well, I'll certainly walk away at that point.
Mm-hmm. Would you sell all your stuff? Would you maybe groom an up-and-comer and help them out, or would you just walk away?
That's the $64,000 question right there. I don't really know how to answer it yet. I have talked to some people about helping. I've given thought to putting somebody in a car, but that would all hinge on what they could bring to the table as well.
Right.
So,
and I know how hard it would be to just walk away. Great example, Ryan Flayton. Mm-hmm. He didn't just walk away. He's still involved with the racetrack. Would that be Tom Corcoran, or would you just step away for a year or two and so you don't get that itch or that urge, or would you want to still be involved with it? Because, you are a walking book of dirt track racing knowledge, and it'd be nice to kind of keep it around. So I'm just wondering if you would just step away and maybe turn into a lake person or do something like that, or would you still be involved with dirt track racing?
I would venture to say that as far as Friday nights and things, I would step away.
Mm-hmm.
It would be too hard to just go out there and watch.
Yeah.
That doesn't rule out helping somebody throughout the week or whatever. But, I think that I've committed enough time that if I do decide to walk away, that's what I'll do for a while.
We were talking about Mark Heidkotter at the beginning of the show, and he was on my softball team for quite a few years ago. And when I finally had to give it up because of my back surgeries and things like that, I decided I couldn't even go watch a softball game. I wouldn't even go watch my own son play. I just had to leave. And I stayed away from, I don't think I watched a softball game for a couple of years before I finally went back, because you'd miss the racing, but there's so much more involved with it, like the people. The people that have been friends of yours due to racing for all of these years, that's another hard thing to step away from.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think I'd step away from that completely. You just don't see people as often if you do walk away from it.
Mm-hmm. Got a question from Aaron. Let's not give Tom any ideas of quitting. What's next year's color scheme? Are you ready to let that out of the hat?
No, but I have picked the color scheme for the car out as far as just the body colors. So graphics will all hinge on whatever the designer comes up with.
Okay. He also adds, and it might be time for a number change. He's had this one for too long. LOL.
No, I'll probably never change this number.
I wouldn't either.
No, this number came about in 1981.
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I briefly ran under another number, and that was just that was a tribute to my original number and my dad's number at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran number 115 for a couple of years.
Yeah, you got to stick with that T1.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to know. Tell us about Jeff Liebrick in the Bun when they reopened after the flood of '97. Told you I did a little digging.
Oh man, for people who don't know, Jeff and I have been great friends for a lot of years.
Great guy.
I would think that from the outside, a lot of people think that I don't necessarily like sprint cars.
Mm-hmm.
And although I can twist the knife very well when it comes to
sure,
sticking the boys, I appreciate what they do.
Yeah,
and some of my best friends are involved with sprint cars.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Jeff Liebrick Bun story was shortly after the flood in '97. The Bun Lounge was the first place to open, and we, along with Dwight Suave, who at one time worked for both Jeff and I, were there on a Sunday evening. And we were sitting in a booth, and a couple of girls came in, and they sat down with us, and we proceeded to have more than we should have. And in the midst of this, Jeff decided to showboat a little bit and show the girls how he could pop a wheelie in his wheelchair.
Yeah.
Well, he caught a crack in the semi-solid floor and under the bun, and went over and smacked his head.
Oh, no.
Tipped over backwards, and you could hear the crack across the room.
Oh, man.
And of course, at that point, his knees went up and smacked him in the chin. You know. And when we realized he was all right, I looked down at him and I said, you sprint car guys, I don't care if you drive them or own them, you're not happy till you're on your head. And Jeff started to laugh, and the tears were rolling out of his eyes, and these two girls were so offended.
Oh, really?
Help him, And we just sat and roared about that, and we've joked about it ever since.
And that's the funny thing. If you see somebody take a spill or a tumble or what, like Jeff did, first thing you do, it doesn't matter your sense of humor or not or how good a friend you are. First thing you do is make sure they're okay.
Absolutely.
And once you find out they're okay, you laugh your ass off.
Oh, for sure.
So maybe Mr. Liebrick, next time, we should, we should get a little GoFundMe page and get him a hockey helmet.
Well, I think he rode the short bus, so he might have one.
Oh, that's a great story. And the thing is, when you've been around racing as long as you have, and even if you've been doing it for 10 years or whatever, there are so many non-racing stories. We try to emphasize how dirt track racing, it is a big extended family.
Absolutely.
And you know what? If you could remember every minute of your life, think of how many funny stories, great stories are just like that.
Oh, yeah. It's there's a lot of stories that really can't be told over the air. I mean, it's we've done some pretty silly things. And things you really don't want to take a lot of credit for.
Yeah. Do you find out now with age, because it's happening to me, I've slowed down. I don't do the crazy things. I used to kind of think I was indestructible. And now that I'm in my mid-50s, I feel in every one of my joints, my knees, my back, how I really wasn't indestructible. I mean, I'd be laying in a hospital room saying, I'll be good to go in a couple of weeks. But it starts to catch up on a guy. Yeah,
it definitely does. I mean, the days of leaving the racetrack and going to the bar and coming home at 3 a.m. It doesn't happen anymore. It happens with age. It just you're dead on there.
Yeah, you used to be able to recoup from something like that noon, 1, 2 o'clock the next afternoon. Now it's 2 or 3 days for me.
I used to have some of my best runs with a terrible hangover.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean it was just took great pride in that, and I don't miss it a bit.
No, I don't either. Jeff, by the way, adds and crayons. Is there something to do with crayons in there, Tom?
I think he had those on the bus.
Oh, yeah. Hockey helmet and crayons. Well, that kind of nails Liebrick, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Do you now, 67, do you feel any different? Do you feel the aches and pains? I don't know how you have been through your life with injuries, things like that. When you get injured a lot in your younger years, they always tell you wait till you're in your 50s and you're going to feel this. I've had 47 broken bones, and I used to laugh at them. I'd say, I'm not worried about it. And about 10 years ago, I started thinking, oh my gosh, I'm 45 years old. I feel like I'm 80, and now I'm 55, and I feel like I'm 90. Has that caught up to you? Have you been basically healthy your entire life, so at least you got that going for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've had the normal things. I mean, as a young guy, I played a lot of hockey, and, the knees aren't what they used to be, and, I had a hip replacement.
Okay.
And, but other than that, in all honesty, I feel pretty good. So,
when did you have the hip replaced?
I had that in 2016.
Okay.
I actually had it the last day of February.
Uh-huh.
And I was in a race car opening night.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was not a pain-free season by any stretch.
Yeah.
But I came back out that season and won. So, you really can't.
Does it feel 100% now?
Yeah. It takes a lot longer than they tell you it does. But, after a year's time, I couldn't tell you that I have one.
Mm-hmm. And you glad you got it done now?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, because how many years did you go through thinking, man, I got to get this done?
About 7 miserable years.
Yeah. And that's how I was with my first neck surgery. I mean, and my back surgeries. You can only take 20 to 28 ibuprofen a day for so long before it starts affecting the rest of your body.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go and you finally get it done, and you go through like a week or a couple of weeks or a couple of months of just hell. But then it starts, you can feel it like every day. You can feel it get a little better and a little better and a little better. And then that's when you start thinking, man, I should have done this a long time ago.
That's exactly what I went through with that. You know, I never thought that I would ever be so old that I would have to have parts replaced. So
Yeah. It's just like you drag them into the garage and let's do this.
Well, that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How long were you in the hospital for something like that?
If I remember right, I had surgery on a Monday, and I was home Wednesday morning.
Wow. Isn't that something, what they can do nowadays?
Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah. And scars add character, too, by the way.
Yeah.
I've always said that. Let's see. Betty's watching. Kevin, I agree with Tom. I raced a lot, hungover, and I seemed to run harder. I think I just wanted to get the race over and the hell out of the car.
Well, yeah, you get that over with, and then you can have a little hair of the dog that bit you.
Yeah. So what do you do now? Retired? What do you do with your time?
Well, I still go back a little bit part-time on weekends and stuff. And,
okay.
And help around. I worked the school district for almost 30 years in East Grand Forks, and I go back a few weekends a month and check boilers and do some other things. That it's getting harder for people to find people with a boiler's license and things like that. So it works out well for me and well for them. On the other side of the coin, I still get up early in the morning, but I can sit and have coffee for a couple hours to figure out what I'm going to do today. And if I don't get to it, I'll think about it tomorrow again.
Have you always been one of those guys that gets up early in the a.m.?
Yes.
That's how I am. It doesn't matter how late I stay out.
Work early.
Yep. What would you do if you weren't racing, you weren't still working once in a while, weekends and stuff? Would you go nuts, or would you have to find something to do?
I would probably travel a little more and drive my kids nuts.
Well, it's payback, right?
Well, exactly.
Yeah. Drive them nuts, but spend some good quality time with the grandkids.
Yeah, for sure. That's. I can't honestly say that I missed out on a lot of things when my kids were growing up. But I know I could have done it differently.
Yeah.
So, and with my grandkids at a distance away, it's a little tougher.
Yeah,
so.
I bet. So you've got grandkids where now? They're scattered.
I've got grandkids in New Hampshire and just down in Alexandria, Minnesota.
Well, Alex isn't so bad, but the one thing about going out to New Hampshire, it's nice out there. I mean, it's a whole different country.
Yep.
You see a lot of different things, but that's kind of a bummer when they're across country.
Yeah, it is. It's not what you envision as you watch your own kids grow.
Absolutely. How close are you to being ready, if not for the upcoming season? And tell us your plans for the new year.
It's kind of funny. I got the car ready to winterize and loaded it in a trailer, brought it over to storage, and about a week and a half later, I went back and got the trailer and brought the car back home and put the trailer back in storage. So I thought, I may need something to do this winter, so I've got it at hand.
And that's not a bad deal either when you've got the time, and especially knowing you like I do, you could be just sitting there and go, you know what, I should be doing this today, but God darn it, my car's in storage. When you can say, you know what, this is something I should be doing today, and you walk outside and you do it.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like I say, since I've retired, I'm more prepared to do things than I ever have been. So,
when you say winterized, what does that mean for a late model race car?
Well, basically, you've got the car stripped down, and if you haven't taken the motor out of it, you've winterized the motor, and you've drained the fuel, and you've pulled the good suspension components off of it, and put some sticks on it, or old things like that. So, you can spend a good day and a half doing that kind of thing. At this stage of the game, it's harder getting to it than it is getting it done.
Sure. Now, when you talk about your shop, is that right at your house?
Yeah.
And you can't beat that.
No. It's I've really been lucky. I have, outside of a 10-year period, I have virtually worked out of the same garage my entire career.
How nice is that, though? I mean, when you could just is it a detached garage, or who even cares?
No, it's about a 12-foot walk. So.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Want to thank Chad for the text. Tom, always so fun talking with you in the pits. Thank you for making me feel welcome to the bull ring. You got a new pickup?
Yeah.
So that sits outside?
Yeah, it got a couple of weeks in the shop, so that's as happy as it's going to get.
Yeah, that's funny because with me, my pickup sits outside. In the winter, it's my four-wheeler with a blade on it, so I don't have to worry about that. All I got to do is open up the door and I start pushing snow. And in the summer, it's my boat. Priorities, right?
Absolutely. It's I make sure that I go up and purchase vehicles from my longtime sponsor, D&B Motors. I trade pickups about every couple of years, so keep up on that. And in all honesty, when you're pulling a trailer, you can't afford to have troubles. So
sure,
it's easier just to trade vehicles every couple of years and not worry about warranty issues and things like that.
Yep. And speaking of D&B, we just got a text from Aaron. Said D&B doesn't mind. They've got a new one out. They've got a new one for you already.
Oh yeah.
So is it about time for that to change? Get a different pickup?
No. I just got this one in October, so
okay,
we're good.
Yeah. And I am so fed up with the COVID thing now.
I'm with you.
Do if they get the vaccine, in your opinion, do you really think this is going to change anything? Do you think there's a possibility of? I mean, maybe it's not the right question to ask. I guess maybe you can only hope. But if they do get this vaccine and they find out that it's going to be the cure or it's going to be the savior or whatever, are we ever going to get back to old norm? Because, man, I hate that term, new normal. I can't stand it. I want to just get back to the way it used to be.
I believe we will. How long that's going to take, I'm not sure. I'm certainly not going to rush out for a vaccine at this point.
No, me neither.
It's. I realize there's people out there that react differently, and people have died. And
it's a real thing. Yeah,
it bothers me that if you watch the daily reports come out that we've eliminated the underlying condition.
Yeah, that really bothers me.
Nuts.
Yeah, me too. In fact, now you're seeing in obituaries in newspapers, COVID-related pneumonia,
right?
COVID-related whatever.
Right.
Why do they even have to put that in there? Yeah. I mean, I get it.
Politically correct thing to do at the moment. So, I'm not a masker. I wear it if I'm forced to.
Same with me. Same with all of us here.
I believe at this point in the game, it's going to cycle through.
Yeah. And you had mentioned that maybe you had thought you had it earlier in the year.
Yeah.
You did the right thing. You did what we all should do. Because I'm the same way. I'm not going to go get tested. Yeah. I mean, unless I am really, really sick. But what good's it going to do for me to go get tested? I know if I'm sick, I'm going to stay home.
Well, exactly.
I'm going to stay home.
And that's what they're going to tell you.
Yeah, because I don't care so much about myself as I do the people I'm around. And you did the right thing.
Yeah.
Without having to go get a test and being a number and being a statistic. And maybe I should have even started talking about it. But
I think for me it's easier. My group of friends is small. That's the people I hang around with. And, and we're all pretty cognizant of what's going on. And whether we're sitting having a beer or whatever we're doing, we stay away from each other.
So you socially distance in Liebrick's garage, then I take it?
Well, yeah, as far as you can get, So, and we're not the kind of guys that hug. So,
no.
You might smack him, but I'm not going to,
Greetings, Jeremy. He's watching. Says greetings. Yeah. So pretty much ready to go. I don't know. I haven't seen a schedule yet of you for River City Speedway, or has the NLRA released a schedule yet?
No, not to the best of my knowledge. I would bank that the schedule at River Cities will be similar to it always is. Go back to the COVID-related thing right now. I'm very nervous about them being able to open at this point in time. It's a real concern. We know how the county board went last year, and thank goodness they let us race.
Yeah,
but I wasn't really thrilled with the last month worth of
BS.
or just restrictions, and I understand it. I mean, it's you're an official in a public capacity, and you're on the side of caution, but Also, that's a big outdoor facility. And,
Yeah.
And, I don't think I've heard of a case coming out of the race.
Well,
racetrack.
even though the majority of the race fans are obese and diabetic and vulnerable, come on, really? It's funny because I actually have county commission on my list here to talk about. But now here's another thing too, and I don't want to keep beating this COVID thing, but didn't seem to bother Black Friday, did it?
That's the thing. It doesn't bother a lot of things, and I find that very ironic and very, very disturbing.
We had mentioned Enbridge. They got the pipeline thing finally figured out with Minnesota. Going to pump. It's a couple of $1 billion job.
Right.
It's bringing the oil workers. It's bringing so much money into Minnesota, which needs it right now because of the economy and everything being closed. Okay, here's a great example. I have hunting cabins up between Plummer and Brooks, Minnesota. Pipeline actually runs right through our woods. These guys got nowhere to go eat. They got nowhere to go have a beverage after a long 12-hour day. So they got all this money coming into Minnesota, which could help bring them out of the hole and get some money back in, into the economy. And it's all just still nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to go up and do a little muzzleloading hunting here in the next week or so, and I'm deciding I probably won't because there's nothing to do in those couple of hours of off time.
For sure. With both of us being Minnesota guys, I shudder to think at the amount of small businesses in small towns that are not going to make it over this.
They're not going to make it.
And when you start to look at places north of here, especially small populations that are dealing with a couple of cases of this, and they're shuttered under the same restrictions they are in Minneapolis, it's just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and I kind of put Governor Walz and Trudeau almost on the same.
Yeah, they're in the same plane in my eyes.
Yeah, and it's like we're not all the same. Plummer, Minnesota, Brooks, Minnesota is not Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Exactly, and I really found it ironic this fall when the governor of Minnesota determined that everybody needed to be the same until it came for schools to make their own decisions on how they handle things. I thought that was really a slap at business.
Yeah, and you look at East Grand Forks, man, I feel bad for so many of these businesses that I'm used to going into.
Exactly.
Places I'm used to going in and having a bite to eat and having a couple of beers. And, you could put the warming houses outside, the fish houses outside, but I think Waltz even put a stop to that, too.
Yeah, it's I really don't know how to describe it. It's even when you could go in to walk in the door with a mask on, sit down at the table, pull the mask off, I mean, did it magically disappear?
Yeah.
No. I mean, I understand all the employees wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
They're subjected to more people daily than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, I don't know.
And you mentioned you're not a mask guy, neither am I. I wear it if I absolutely have to. But when I'm wearing it, I basically have in my mind that the people that see me have a better peace of mind, because there's those people out there. Paul, the producers, had a couple of run-ins with people where, I think we read Grand Forks had like 22 police calls from concerned citizens.
Yeah.
That, hey, he's not wearing a mask. It's we're all in this together. We got to take care of ourselves.
I have no issues with people that are absolutely determined to wear that mask all the time. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I got my mask next to the cure for cancer.
What was that?
I forgot my mask next to the cure for cancer.
Oh, you forgot. Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, it just, I guess it's up to each individual to me. But God help the guy who comes up and lays into me because I don't wear one.
Yeah. I haven't been that, should I say, fortunate or unfortunate yet to have somebody get in my face. Mm-hmm. I try to do what, they want you to do, but, oh boy, I tell you what, I was in Fargo yesterday, did a bunch of shopping, had a mask on for hours, and my ears hurt so bad. I swore if I look in the mirror, I got to look like Dumbo, because it felt like it was pulling my ears off the side of my face. And for one thing, they're just not comfortable either.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely question the effectiveness, but I also make it a point to stay far enough away from people.
Sure.
It's, everything in the world does not need to come with instructions.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And unfortunately, it seems like it does at this point in time.
You know, Tom Corcoran, when this is all said and done with you racing after all of these years, how do you want to be remembered? How would you like people when they go, yeah, man, I remember Tommy Corcoran, and what would you want people to say about you?
Just basically good guy, good clean racer. I can't honestly say that I've ever run over anybody to win a race. And in 50 years plus doing this, it's not a bad deal.
Do you find that when you race that way, people race that way with you, or are there still the guys out there that could really give a rat's butt about your car?
Yeah, there's still some guys out there like that. As a rule, we've got a good bunch of racers here locally. That said, you race long enough, you're going to get into it with everybody sooner or later.
Sure.
But it's a lot better that you do that, and at the end of the day, you can go sit down and have a talk about it or a beer with somebody, and as a rule, it's over.
Because you never know. There might be one day in the pits where somebody comes up to you and says, Tom, I could really use your help here for a couple of minutes. You got a couple of minutes, and you might, it could be, well, I remember what you did to me a couple of weeks ago. Screw you. I'm not going to come over there and help you. You don't want that.
No, you don't. But there's a little of that too.
Sure, there is.
It's that's the thing, is you eventually are going to deal with everybody. So, it's better to deal with them as friends.
Okay. All I'm asking for here is a yes or no answer. Is there anybody there you will not pit next to? I know you guys have your spots you usually like to try to go, but if
intentionally, no. No, I mean, we've kind of got our spots, and we've all had them for a long time. It bothers you if you get shuffled out of that spot occasionally, but as a rule, no, it doesn't bother me regardless who I pit next to.
And isn't that the way it should be?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's a big family. It really is, sure. And you've been a huge part of this big family for a long time.
Well, yeah, longer than I'd ever planned.
Yeah. How excited are you for this upcoming season? Does the excitement wane after the years, or do you still go into the beginning of every year just as excited as you were the year before?
Well, I still look forward to it. By the end of the season, you're ready to be done. But, as I said earlier, a couple weeks or a couple months later, I got the car back in the shop. So, I mean, it's, yeah.
I suppose it's a day-by-day thing?
Yeah. Definitely.
It
only takes about a 2-week period of time after the season's over to recoup.
I know, isn't that funny? Because after like the sites, and then we have the one weekend, I'm usually pretty shot because I do all 3 days of the sites. I throw in a couple of days of go-kart racing in there too. And I tell you what, by that Monday, my throat hurts. It hurts, and I'm so ready for it to be done. That following Friday will come along. We have the one race left, and then the next Friday, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad it's done. But by the second Friday after the season's done, I'm going nuts. I mean, I am going nuts. I miss it. I want to be there. I want the smell. I want the dirt. I want the people. And it's dirt track racing. It's basically a drug that's legal.
Definitely addictive.
Yeah. So. Got to thank you, man, for coming back on the show again.
I appreciate you guys having me.
And we definitely are going to have you back.
Well, I'll come anytime you need me.
And when you get the new paint scheme, we'll get Bobby Dusso to take a picture of you. And, I don't know if we'll take that one down and put the new one up, but we're going to be running out of room here pretty soon if we keep doing that. Good luck this year. You are a true ambassador to the sport. I know there's a ton of people that look up to you. I mean, just looking at what's coming up on the phone here, people think you're a great guy.
Well, I appreciate that.
Tom Corcoran, River City Speedway Hall of Fame, NLRA Late Model driver. He's looking forward to year number 52nd year of racing and winning coming up this year. Man, thank you. And thank you to all the people that called and texted today. Chad Hoff, my bullring boy brother, you got to get yourself better. Get out of that quarantine thing, or unless you're drinking a lot of quarantinis, get better, all right? Hey, special thanks going out to Dusso Photography. Still worried about your Christmas cards? Well, Dusso Photo can help you, all right? Dusso Photography. Go to his website, dussophoto.com. He's got a great thing going on there where you can get on the website and figure out how he'll walk you through it, kind of a step-by-step thing. If you're not like me and know how to read instructions, you could probably figure this out. Do your family portraits, your corporate pics, but the Christmas cards, it's about time to get those in the mail. And if you want to see the work he does, we've got the Do So Photography Wall of Fame here in the studios at GFBS. Basically, if you want to look the best, Do So Photography can do that. Go to DoSoPhoto.com or call them up, 218-230-4325. Thank you very much, Jeff, Carrie Ann, Kevin, Ryan, all of you guys that have been watching us today. It's always fun when you got a Dirty Thursday, especially with Tom Corcoran in the show. Hey, tomorrow, John Bernstrom, Public Information Officer for the City of Grand Forks, is back on the show. Hey, don't forget, we're now on Amazon Music. You just tell your smart speaker to play GFBS Podcast, and it'll do it. And we're looking for your 5-star reviews on Google, too, all right? Hey, don't forget, we want you to like us, share us, and tag us. We're Grand Forks' best source, giving Grand Forks an identity again.